Kingston, Jamaica tonight, and you can see the lights are still on. That is certainly good news. Traffic is going on. They're getting ready, though. They know what's coming. Right now, the island nation dealing with impending Hurricane Melissa, a Category 5 storm. The storm's already been deadly before even reaching here, claiming 6 lives in the northern Caribbean. But where is that storm headed right now? We're turning to meteorologist Rachel Coulter. She is tracking the tropics for us tonight.
And hey, Rachel, what are the latest stats on Hurricane Melissa?
You know, we should get some updated stats here momentarily from the National Hurricane Center, so I'll be sure to pass those along once we get them. But the 5 o'clock update showed us those maximum sustained winds of 175 miles per hour. So this is not just barely a Category 5 hurricane. This is certainly an intense Category 5 hurricane, only moving to the north and west at 3 miles per hour. The movement of this hasn't changed all that much over the past couple of days. And when you're over these warm waters and you have the environment as favorable as it has been for intensification, this has just been able to intensify and intensify and intensify. That pressure down to 906 millibars, that's the lowest pressure this late in the calendar year when you look at the Atlantic Basin on record. Certainly this will be the strongest storm to make landfall across the coast of Jamaica. I was looking back at some of the tracks of hurricanes, and you have to go back to 1988 to see Hurricane Gilbert, which made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane, and that was the only Category 4 hurricane to make landfall, actually moving right over and directly over Jamaica. So this is going to be the strongest storm that they've dealt with to date.
That eye so clearly defined, it is frightening, right? So a Category 5, what kind of impacts do we really have to watch out for here?
These are going to be catastrophic, life-threatening impacts, unfortunately. And I want to show you some of the impacts and why we've got this hurricane warning that's in place for Jamaica and what the National Hurricane Center is outlining for those living in this area. You can see that center of circulation likely making a pass over, making landfall into tomorrow morning, but the eye wall going to be moving overhead even sooner than that. The hurricane hunters made some passes through this storm. They're continuing to do that even now as we speak, but the turbulence that they noted within the eye wall, I can only imagine how scary that is. So likely making landfall as a Category 5 hurricane. And here's some of the notes from the National Hurricane Center. Total structure failure from eye wall winds likely, especially in those higher elevations where you can get 30% higher winds just because of the elevation and the terrain impacts. 15 to 30 inches of rainfall in addition to what they've already seen. Some storm totals will be upwards of 40 inches of rain. That's going to lead to catastrophic flooding, numerous landslides, and then you of course have storm surge. You have dangerous surf, life-threatening even surf. So 9 to 3 feet of storm surge for the lower terrain. That's going to be an issue before that moves off towards north and east, weakening and speeding up as it does, but still a major hurricane as that eventually moves over Cuba and then passes towards Bermuda as a Category 1 hurricane.
Humanitarian crisis looks to be headed our way here, yeah.
Unfortunately.
All right, we're going to be praying for all those people there.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Rachel. She will have more on what it looks like closer to home.
Your first look forecast is coming up next, but first, we've got to look at tonight's cover story.